The following is a Shaw TV special presentation.
From Bethlehem High School in Saskatoon, it is the 2017 Cheer and Dance High School Competition. I'm Simon Hyatt, happy to be joined by Alexander Schubert. Alexander, we have a great competition coming the way of the viewers tonight. Talk a little bit about what we're going to see, because this is really the culmination of a year's worth of preparation. A lot of effort has gone into making tonight possible.
Yes, so these teams start practicing in November. We saw them at Brit in January, and now we're kind of 3 months after that seeing the final product of these routines. So they've had time to take the corrections that the judges have been giving them and really perfect those routines. So it's going to be a good show tonight.
And much like the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament cheerleading competition that you mentioned, we have a variety of demonstrations tonight as well as competitions. Can you outline those for us?
Yes, so we'll be seeing both junior and senior pom teams. These are these are dance teams essentially. We'll be seeing some senior cheerleading teams, so they're doing the stunts, the tumbling, and the tosses and that sort of thing. And as well, this year we are seeing a new team. This is a hip-hop team coming out of Bedford Road, so they compete. They use more of the cool music, I'll say, and it's a lot of fun to watch those routines. So look out for that tonight.
That team's coming up first right after the break. Get ready for it. Coming your way next on Shaw TV, it is the 2017 Cheer and Dance Competition. Tease there in the opening, getting things going with the Bedford Road Senior Hip Hop team. Alexander, you were saying this is where we're going to hear some of the cool music, all the stuff the kids are listening to, right?
Yes, exactly. So they'll probably be using a lot of hip hop music as they are a hip hop team. I have here, this is the latest addition to Bedford Road's dance family. They're Saskatoon's first ever competitive hip hop team in this dance division. They're made up of grade 11 and 12 students, and they're excited to share their routine with us tonight.
Once again, Carolyn Parr-Hillstad at the helm of this one, as you would expect, as it's a Bedford Road team. Certainly one of the programs in the city that's an absolute dominant force.
Yes, well they have 3, or I guess 4 dance teams now with that program, so a lot going on in the dance world at Bedford Road. So here we're seeing some crump styles right off the bat here. In terms of hip hop, we might see some knocking, some isolation, lots of arm work, lots of levels. Excited to see what this is like. This will be my first time watching a high school hip hop team as well, so it's really new.
And do you know, is this something that's becoming more common, our hip-hop teams? Yeah, I know you say this is the first one in Saskatoon, but is this a bit of a growing movement?
A little bit, yes. It's more so in the United States. The cheerleading gyms, they'll also be producing these pom teams and hip-hop teams in the All-Star division. So in a way, Canada is catching up with them right now, because typically most dance teams are just out of dance studios and traditional like ballet. They still have hip-hop, jazz, lyrical, that sort of thing. But it's definitely, this is something new that I think is happening across Canada with high school teams. And it's great to see that they can actually compete this. I know we would work on hip hop and dance classes, but beyond that we would just be able to perform and not really compete anywhere. So yeah, hearing some Kanye West now.
I'm glad you're here to point out these artists. I stopped listening to the radio 25 years ago.
Oh yeah, no. I try to keep cool with the with it and cool with the kids, as they say. It's a lot of fun, this routine is.
And I guess there'll probably be some overlap in terms of what you might see with a team like this and some of the pom, but this is much more hip-hop oriented, but there's probably a little bit of similarity.
There is similarity. So we'll be seeing work with their formations and transitions. You'll see as the athletes are moving, they're also making kind of shapes if you look at the whole, the mat as a whole, I guess. And so level changes, they're working with their arms. They'll be doing some technical work, but hip-hop is a lot less of that. They're not looking for so much of that flexibility and technique in your movements as much as being sharp and the whole team looking very cohesive. And that goes for pom as well, but we'll see it a bit more here in the hip-hop. So a little bit of a stunt. with these dance teams, while this is a cheerleading and dance competition, their stunting regulations for pom and hip hop is that they can do anything that the athlete would potentially be able to do on their own.
Okay.
So we'll see those flips kind of at the body level. That sort of thing was kind of close to the end. So we might see a bit of that from some of the pom teams.
Another look here at a bit of the routine from the Bedford Road senior hip hop team. Your thoughts, Alexander?
It was very good. They came out strong. It was a good routine to start with. And you can see right here, before they were doing a ripple, now they're kind of doing that full teamwork. So it is kind of similar to what we'll be seeing out of pom teams, just like you said, with those hip hop movements. And you can see the athletes are having a lot of fun with this one, I think.
Getting ready for the Tommy Douglas Junior Pom team as we take a look at the Bedford Road Senior Hip Hop team with almost an entirely new team. This group of girls has been working hard to put together their competition routine, and it just keeps getting better every time they compete. Placing third at the Warman Classic and second at Tommy Toe Touch. They only hope to improve this upcoming Tuesday at Cities. They are coached by Jill Martin and Jen Maher.
Yeah, and before they come on, we have the River Heights Cheer Squad demoing just to give the judges a little break here.
You're absolutely right. I was jumping ahead. Thank you, Alexander.
Good. You're just excited.
I am excited.
Excited as I am. So this is our first cheerleading team of the night. They are coach and trained out of River Heights Elementary School. So these girls, the oldest they'll be in is grade 8, and this is one of the oldest elementary school, or I guess girls and boys. This is a co-ed team. But this is one of the oldest elementary school programs that we have in the city with regards to cheerleading, which is good to see that they're still alive and well.
Absolutely. As we told you off the top, it's a combination of competition teams as well as demo squads.
Yes, so the demo squads, it's great because they get an opportunity to perform and kind of practice, and when it gives the judges a break as well, so that they really have time to tabulate their scores, make sure things are accurate, make sure they're not putting anything too out of line in terms of their score ranges.
Give it up, River Heights Cheer.
So they're ready to go. They've been out on that mat for quite a while already. Starting with a little bit of tumbling here. So you can see already they're doing some two-person stunts. So cheerleading will also include a little bit of that dance element here. You can see it's a lot more of their motions are you'll hit something on every count or every second count, and you can almost take a picture of each frame and see the athletes doing the same thing. But so they have less emphasis on that and usually use the dance for transitions, as they just did, moving from their intro into a jump sequence. So for when cheerleading is judged, they are judged on a few aspects. There's jumps and tumbling. So we saw those forward rolls they're tumbling. The jumps we just witnessed, they're showing off their flexibility and strength. Now they're also judged on stunts. So this is going to be their first stunt sequence. So you can see there's one base and a girl behind her. That's called the third, or the back spot. And the girl flying is the top girl, or if you're in America, they call them flyers. And so there's a lot of variation in what you can do with stunts. As you can see now that they have more people under the girl and they're connected to her from the ground, they can lift her up to that higher level than before. And we're seeing a great mix of stunts and tumbling throughout the routine. And the final thing that they're judged on is their pyramid. So these are connected stunts, as we can see right here. So they can have a few more options in their skills with what they can and can't do. So we can see a little bit of trouble, but they caught up there in the end. Solid routine from the River Heights cheerleading squad. This is once again a demo team here at the city championships.
Yeah, really impressive. I mean, we're talking about kids that are elementary school age, as you mentioned. I mean, that's some impressive work out there.
And especially it's all done by volunteer coaching as well. So you have to kind of manage that team as well while you're coaching them. So it's a lot of work on the coaches, so it's great to see that there's still commitment there.
All right, so can give you a bit of a deja vu here, folks. Now it's time for the Tommy Douglas Junior
Here we
Prom
go.
team. You may have heard this before, but with an almost entirely new team, this group of girls has been working hard to put together their competition routine, and it just keeps getting better every time they compete. Placing third at the Warman Classic, second at Tommy Tochach. They only hope to improve at the competition tonight, coached by Jill Martin and Jen Maher. I read it much better the second time.
It was much better the
Thank
second
you.
time, indeed.
Next up,
And it's nice to see the involvement in the cheerleading community from the coaches. I think it was 4 years ago, but I was on a cheerleading team with Jill Martin, so it's good to see that she's still involved.
New team.
And that seems to be a common theme that we see when we
Yes.
do the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. So many people like yourself, like the judges we see at the table, so many give back to this
Definitely.
cheer community by becoming coaches.
Yeah, well, the sport itself gave so much to us. It's just the ones who are really impacted by it, I think, are the ones who are coming back to stay involved. And I'm seeing a few Prairie Fire athletes on this team as well, which is exciting. So they're allowed to do pom and cheer, which is nice. So this is the first junior pom team we're seeing today, and a lot of the time, or sorry, not a lot of the time, but in the past, the junior pom teams would often just demo, but it's been, I think, the past 4 years now, they've actually been competing as teams against each other, so it's good to see that progression in the sport in Saskatoon. And so here they're demonstrating some of that flexibility, more of the technical elements that you'll see with pom routines, doing work with their poms. Keeping the energy up, having 2 different levels, a little bit of a ripple effect there. And that was a pom toss that we just saw there. So one element of the score sheet that they're judged on is their pom tosses. So that can be the amount that they have, how difficult they are, the creativity involved with that. So it's interesting to see what the different coaches and choreographers are doing to meet those requirements.
Tommy Douglas, the first of 4 junior pom teams we'll see in competition this evening. Do you think there's extra pressure in being the first team, the first out of the gate among those 4 that's competing, Alexander?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. You're definitely setting the bar, and you can set the bar really high, or it could go the other way. But they're doing a good job. They're keeping the energy up. The crowd is going with it. I think the judges are impressed. We just saw another successful pom toss there. So in terms of routine choreography and execution, they're doing what they practice. So that's good. So we can see even here in the pom routines, they do have a little bit of that hip-hop element here and there to keep the mix going, because pom isn't really a traditional dance category. Like, there's the lyrical and the ballet and the jazz and all sort of those things, but pom is it's almost an accumulation of all of those. So it's interesting to see how they combine that into these dances.
Tommy Douglas junior pom team, nice routine.
Yeah, very good. They definitely set the tone for tonight, and especially coming from a junior pom team where these athletes are just in grade 9 and 10. And you can see they're choreographed from the entrance all the way to their exit.
Imagine a lot of supporters here in the crowd for Tommy Douglas, as that's the high school right next door to where we are here at Bethlehem, 2 of the newest high schools in the city of Saskatoon. We'll be actually seeing the Bethlehem junior pom team coming up. They'll be the last team to compete in the junior division. We'll also see Centennial and Bedford Road.
So we're just seeing that highlight reel right now. There's that pom toss again that we were talking about, but their routine had a really good job of including lots of those levels, transitions, all the things that we're looking for in pom routine. So a very solid routine from Tommy Douglas Junior Pom.
Now time for the PFC Tiny Tots.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of coaching this group last Saturday. I was filling in for some coaches who were down in Regina, and this is actually the smallest of the smallest group. Typically, the age range is just 5 and under, but we've actually split them up at Prairie Fire to being aged 3 and 4 and 4 and 5, kind of depending on where the athlete is and being a toddler. So, yeah, it's definitely a cute team.
Yeah.
A lot of just...
It takes a little extra work probably to get them all into the right place. That's understandable. Lots of waves to mom and dad.
Pretty sassy. Team is coached by Sarah and Aaron. Very cute.
Absolutely adorable.
Yeah. Oh, a little bit of a collision, but we just get up and it's all good at this level. So this is their first stunt, as you can see. They're keeping it age appropriate, level appropriate.
Sure, yeah.
Safety is the #1 priority,
Absolutely.
of course. So we want to make sure these athletes are doing things that they can handle and I guess understand at this young age. So now this is their tumbling section, which is going up into bridges, which is one of the fundamental skills of gymnastics. And sometimes you just got to choose not to tumble, and that's okay. These girls are here to have fun.
Yeah. And I imagine you've seen over the years girls that have started out, or young fellows that have started out at this age, continue on and on and on into age groups, and it becomes a lifelong thing.
Yeah, these are going to be the future elite athletes of the gym probably if they're starting this early, so it's very exciting to see. And now, yeah, a little bit of help from the coaches for this part. It's tricky because they're now trying to coordinate their pyramid section, which has the athletes holding on to each other in their stunts, so sometimes you just need a little bit of that helping hand. And the crowd is loving it, so that's
great
good.
reaction. Oh, you guys have your own theme music. That's pretty cool.
It's in cheerleading. The mixes are typically comprised of these, like the music mixes, but also voiceovers, they're called. So it's kind of like you have someone cheering for the cheerleaders while they're performing. And it's been interesting as an industry-wide kind of aspect of cheerleading. We have had a new rule instilled where our music needs to be copyright-free because it's starting to get big enough where they're showing it on the big TV networks in the United States. So that's actually been a bit of an issue with getting the music. It's definitely jacked the prices up, and there's nothing you can do about it because the producers are now having to make their own mixes entirely and do covers of songs. So good to see that we can still have those. Mixes.
Looks like another PFC team here.
This is another demo team, and the teams that we're actually seeing tonight, these are our pre-competitive, our prep teams, they're called.
Okay.
So the nice thing about these teams is they practice once a week. I'm not sure if they actually compete or not, but they do perform, and one great thing is there's constant intake with these teams. So if you're interested in getting your child into cheerleading and you're not too sure where to start, one of these teams is probably going to be one of your best bets, at least through Prairie Fire, because we have them running. You can be as young as the little athletes we just saw there. I believe this group now is older than 5 years old, if maybe? No, I think they're still younger. But it goes all the way up to the 11-year-olds. So that kind of low commitment, introduce them to the sport, get their bodies moving is a great way to get yourself involved in the cheerleading community if you're not sure where to start.
Well, I imagine we might have some youngsters watching our show who think, hey, I want to do that. Seems like a good time. Give us the plug, Alexander. How can people get more information about Prairie Fire?
More information, we do have a website, prairiefirecheerleading. It's either .ca or .com. You can Google it and it will show up, which is really nice. And in terms of getting involved sooner than later, we are running our spring session is starting in May, so you can register anytime. I believe registration is already open, and we have if you're entirely new to the sport, we have Learn to Cheer classes going on. So these are these kind of age groups. We'll train you in a little bit of tumbling, a little bit of stunting, get you introduced to the sport once a week. As well, there are beginner tumbling classes that you can take. So that's getting more of that gymnastics work if that's what they're interested in. Furthermore, for these for athletes who have a little bit of experience, possibly high school age or elementary school, who are already doing some sort of cheerleading, we have more options for classes that could fit you, like higher level tumbling classes, stunting classes, that sort of thing. So if you're looking for more information, log on to prairiefirecheerleading.com or .ca, I'm not entirely sure, and you can find everything there. The website is super easy to navigate, which is nice. And as well, we are located on 421 42nd Street East. Megan, our wonderful, I don't know how to describe her. She just does everything at the gym. She manages it. She has all the teams in line, all the coaches going where they need to be, and she can answer any questions you have. As well, we do have an email address, info@prairiefirecheerleading.ca.
Perfect.
So now they're ending up with their dance section for this routine. And I also coached these athletes last week, and they're a fun little group too.
Yeah, sure. Great job. Yeah, nothing will get a reaction from the crowd like that. That was just fantastic.
No
Couple of the Prairie Fire teams. Now we're heading back into the junior pom competition. This is the team from Centennial Collegiate.
The Chargers have had a great season so far.
Their bio. Chargers have had a great season so far. The team started with a powerful performance at Britt, which we remember well, and have continued to improve their routines since then. Highlights of the season include traveling to the Victoria Cheer competition in Edmonton, ironically enough, and performing in school events. The team has many senior students who will be graduating this year. This is choreographed by Ms. Duong, Mr. Howlett, and Ms. Binner. The team is looking forward to their performance tonight and competing at Provincials this weekend. That's right, Provincials. We'll have to talk a little bit about that as well, Alexander's. This moves along.
This coming weekend is Provincials. They're taking place in Weyburn, Saskatchewan. Every year it switches between being kind of more in the north end of the province and the south. So usually it's that Saskatoon area, North Battleford, Prince Albert sometimes, and then in the south we'll go to Regina, Yorkton, Weyburn, because there are still cheerleading programs in all those places. So we can see a very strong opening from the pom team.
20th Century Fox music, I believe.
Yep. And starting with some side aerials right at the front. That's a very high level dance skill.
Straight into the dance.
Yep, so you can see a formation change. This is a very fast-paced routine, showing off their technical skills, their ability to stay, I guess, as cohesive as a unit. So you're seeing no athletes really out of line here, and good Russians up at the front there. So, like I said before with the hip-hop routines, these pom routines are judged on their arm work or pom work, jumps, technical skills, turns, kicks, that sort of thing, as well as how their formations are structured and how their routines are overall presented. We have some Star Wars music coming in here. And these teams will often follow a certain theme, but they usually will keep this pump-up music in there as well, just to keep the crowd going. Give the athletes some energy as well as they perform. So there we can see a full team pirouette. That would be one of their turning skills. And I think I can spot a Prairie Fire athlete on this team as well.
Yeah, I imagine we could say that quite a few times tonight. Prairie Fire everywhere.
Oh yeah, we're growing. And so we just had a palm drop there on the mat, and that can sometimes be make or break for these teams. They don't have, in terms of deducting from the routines, they don't really have much to go off of, so when something like that happens in a toss or an exchange where the palm hits the ground, it is kind of a bigger deal for these teams, but a very strong routine regardless.
Movie-themed routine from Centennial Collegiate. Very nice job. But
very strong routine. You can see they're choreographed right until the end as well. So there we have that opening again, making a nice formation, and that just shows the work and the transitions that they have to put in those aerials once again. It's phenomenal that we have athletes at the high school age who can compete those here.
Moving into another demo. Looks like this is going to be the Vincent Massie elementary school team.
Exciting. I'm not sure if we've seen them before, or maybe they made their first appearance last year, but it's good to see more elementary school teams coming around showing us what they've got.
And good to see another co-ed team at the elementary level. It's fantastic.
2017.
No, it's always great because with all of these high school teams and elementary school teams, the coaches are doing this 100% as volunteers. So it's nice that we're still seeing that commitment and that they're looking to move forward and expand the industry in Saskatoon as well with new schools. You can see the kids are having some fun with the camera. It's exciting for them. Like, they're on TV. They're going to be on Shaw Cable.
That's right, they are.
Thank you to Shaw TV for broadcasting this event.
Good timing. Just as allowed, the PA announcer gave us some props too. Don't forget, if you are watching this on TV, it will also be on the Shaw TV YouTube site. It's any of the competition. Feel free to dial it up there.
Good to hear.
Simon Hyatt, Alexander Schubert from Bethlehem High School, bringing you the 2017 Cheer and Dance High School Championship.
They're just waiting to take their place on the mat here. And you can tell they're really excited to go on.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to welcome Vincent Massie School. Vincent Massie School is an elementary school that's been working really hard this year, and they're really pleased to see you here, and hopefully you enjoy. Give it up for Vincent Massie School.
Here they go now. Vincent Massie takes the stage, or the floor.
Again, I would guess we're dealing with students up to grade 8, but could probably be any age level at the elementary level.
No, I'm not sure how young they have them coming, but looks like we have a good spread here in terms of age. I'm trying to gauge it by height, but I know that's never a good idea because you can never be too sure how old someone is. I was always tall growing up too, so I really shouldn't be doing that. But
yeah, I was like this height in grade 7. Yep. I thought I was going to be like 6'3", and then I just stopped there.
Stopped there. See, one thing that I really do like about this routine is the athletes are really doing a good job of playing the pause. So while they don't have any actions, it's really important that they kind of don't move when they're not supposed to be doing that. They almost have to treat that as a separate motion. And that's something that these athletes are doing a good job. Very sassy routine. Ooh. Yeah, the crowd is liking it. I think we're having a lot of fun out on the mat too. There's a little bit of a ripple. So now they're showing off their jumps a little bit. So you can see even though they're demoing, they're still trying to nail all those aspects of the score sheet like they were competing as a team. It's good because it does provide some structure to the routine, but it still allows the coaches to have that flexibility with what they want to do and what their athletes are capable of as well.
Awesome job. Vincent Massie Elementary School coming in and demoing. As you mentioned, Alexander, the demoing not only gives these youngsters a chance to perform in front of a crowd, also gives the judges a chance to tally up their scores so things keep on moving on. I know, I'm guessing you know all of these judges because it seemed like every single one of them stopped and said hello and took selfies with you.
Yeah,
so they know you and you're a rock star is what I've learned.
You're saying that, not me. I'm putting words in my mouth right now a little bit, but no, it's great. It's such a good community here in Saskatchewan, and we all kind of, because it's nice because a lot of these teams will compete in Edmonton and Vancouver and that sort of thing. So when we go out to those competitions, we can have that strong bond as a city and as a province. It's really nice to see that kind of when we compete outside of province. You can hear the crowd is already getting wild for the Bedford Road Junior Pom team. As Bedford Road alumni, I'm pretty excited as well.
I'll tell you a little bit about this team coming up. They've had a great season so far, coming off 2 big wins in Warman and at Tommy Totouch. The team is made up of many new grade 9s and only 4 returning athletes, but are 4-time defending city champions. The team would like to thank their coaches, Miss Parr and Michaela, for their love and support, and hope you all enjoy Sugar and Spice.
You can see they have that choreographed walk on, and they probably will have, they know exactly where their feet need to be until they're probably in that change room again. The very strong junior program here at Bedford Road. Sometimes easy to forget that these are just grade 9 and 10 athletes.
Obviously building on that outstanding tradition at Bedford Road Collegiate of cheer and pom excellence.
Yeah, they have a very strong program there. Carolyn Parr-Hillstad is doing an amazing job. The dance classes range from, I think, grades 10 to 12, and they have a lot of that dance program ingrained with the grade 9 art system as well. And it's just such a culture at Bedford Road. It's kind of, pom is what we're very proud of it, and you can see that the athletes are committed. They know that this is important to the school, and it's important to the athletes as well. So it's great to see that even at a young age. They're probably putting in 2 or 3 practices a week, which is a lot for a junior team. So you can see making use of those level changes, the ripples. I think they actually started the routine. They're holding 2 different poms right now, but I'm not sure if that's how they started things before, so there would have been an exchange in there. Doing a good job to nail all aspects of that score sheet. And here again, you can see those stunts that they're doing, so those are things that could potentially be possible for the athlete to do by themselves, but you'll get a little bit more height, a little bit more of that flexibility shown off when you do it in the group. Showing off that flexibility right there in the middle. And those circle formations, the one that they were just in right there, are often really hard to find your place because you're not always on a line or a space or in line with someone else, and they did a good job executing that. There we have that pom toss. Making use of the poms to make shapes as well has been a recent trend in the industry, which is good to see that we're front runners in. And a very strong routine from the Bedford Road Junior Pom squad.
Will it be 5 years in a row for Bedford Road? Well, we'll have to find out. Still 2 more teams on the junior pom side to compete. Pardon me, just 1 more. The Bethlehem team, they'll be coming towards the end of the competition. Up next, we're going to have our first cheer team from Aiden Bowman.
At SSSAD 12.
Obviously, a little bit of a transition there for the judges as we're talking about them. They'll have to move from scoring pom into scoring cheer, which are obviously 2 fairly different beasts.
No, they are very different. So how it actually works is we'll have 2 panels of judges. We have a group that are judging cheer and a group that are solely judging pom, and they're kind of trained as such just so that they can really just focus on one thing, not having to flip their braids around.
Sure,
go into something entirely different.
And a lot of experience over here on the judges' table.
Yes. This year's cheer team consists of a dedicated and resilient groups of grade 9 to 12 students. Throughout the season, they had a few changes on their roster, but the athletes maintained a positive attitude and a desire to do well as a team. They placed 3rd place at the Campbell Icebreaker competition in their division, and they plan to finish the season with the same level of determination. Coached by Michelle Lloyd, Sydney Wilders, Bishop Glaiboff, and Allison Cernick. And I've also cheered with Bishop Glaiboff, so and this team looks to be co-ed. Very big team.
Yeah, that's the first thing that stood out, is they just kept on coming and coming out the door there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably a bit of a double-edged sword. Obviously, when you have a ton of athletes, you can do a lot more, but it probably, I guess, just also creates more opportunity for something to go wrong potentially when you have more individuals in there competing.
No, exactly. You have more athletes to worry about, so the end product, it can really wow the crowd because you can just have so much going on at once like we're seeing here. Like there's a little bit of a stunt going right into a pyramid at the back with jumps at the front, a very high energy opening from the Aiden Bowman cheerleading team. So they're doing an inversion up. This team is level 2 now, which is a higher degree of difficulty than what we've been seeing from the other teams. So we can see handsprings in their tumbling. They'll be doing stunts at a higher level. Higher degree of difficulty right now. They're prepping for half up, straight up to that extended position. This is one of the higher level skills you can do in level 2. So now this is their jump sequence. Just a little bit of that dance in between. A very strong routine so far from the Aiden Bowman cheerleading squad. Showing off a little bit of that tumbling. And now this is something we haven't seen from many of our demo teams, our basket toss section. So that is done in level 2 up. So as you get through the levels, they'll be doing more skills in their tosses, but this is that intro level. And there we saw, that's called a switch up. So they're switching feet as they go up. That just increases their difficulty in the stunts, which is, with cheerleading, they're marked primarily on their difficulty, and then their execution scores kind of come from that. So they want to have a very, not only do they want to have a difficult and creative team, but they do want to hit it. But that difficulty is definitely a key factor in their routine. There's another basket toss in the back. Showing off some of those tumbling skills. So now we're moving into a pyramid section. You can see they kind of build into it a little bit. There's a lot going on either side, and this will, I believe, go into their first structure. Yep. Pressing up to those, that's called the Liberty position when they're on 1 foot in an extended level. Changing structures, a very solid routine from the Bowman cheerleading team. Now I think all they have left to do is their dance section. Yep. So you'll see now this will kind of look similar to the POM routines with their level changes, formations, some group work.
Well, you said it looked like a very good, very clean routine from the Aiden Bowman Bears.
No, you can tell that. I bet there's a lot of work going in these past few weeks leading up to, because they have this competition, they have cities. I'm not sure if they were down in Regina last weekend, so they're at that point right now where they're just perfecting their routines and making sure everything's smooth and just kind of doing what they already know. It's all muscle memory at this point for those athletes.
Absolutely. You've done it so many hundreds of times. Another look at the performance from Aiden Bowman Collegiate
Senior POM team.
as we get ready for the Bethlehem Senior POM team. Imagine we'll get a good reaction from the crowd there as we are at Bethlehem High School in Saskatoon.
Is an inclusive team. In its fourth
They're on their home court.
Comprised of 17 athletes from grade 9 to 12. Team captains.
So coming off of the strong performance from the Aiden Bowman cheer team, still to come the Marion Graham cheer team going head-to-head, level 2 team.
The team is led by Coach Cheryl Lentz-Fabian, and the team captain is
Bethlehem Junior POM team is an inclusive POM team with 18 members. The team is comprised of 14 very dedicated and energetic grade 9 students and 4 strong grade 10 leaders. The team is coached by Cheryl Lenz-Fabian, Nevada Braun, and Katie Forsyth. The team placed first in the Regina Icebreaker and second at the Warman Cheer Classic.
I believe this is actually their senior POM team.
This is the senior POM team.
Yeah,
oh,
from
okay.
Our schedule
They
there.
mix up the order on us?
Oh, they have it here at the end.
All
so,
right.
This team is in its 4th year. There are 17 athletes here from grades 9 to 12. Their captains, Jenna and Tori, have been part of the Stars POM team for all 4 years and are responsible for their diva theme. And they actually did a little bit of collaboration on the choreography, which is good to see that the students can get involved even while they're still on the team. They had a personal best at Regina Icebreaker and placed 3rd at the Warman Cheer Classic. You can see they're doing that diva theme, starting off with Beyonce. Hear the crowd going in the background. We're definitely at the home.
Yep. And a nice crowd here at Bethlehem too. Yep. Stands are packed, people standing outside watching through the glass.
Yep. And it's nice. The city championships, they do kind of a cycle, so you'll have it for 2 years at your school. So it's a great fundraising opportunity for the program at the school. Brings awareness kind of around the school, so they'll probably have good numbers coming in to their teams in following years. And it's nice that that rotates around the school. It's been at Bedford Road in the past, Centennial Collegiate, Tommy Douglas. So here they're showing off some flexibility in a ripple. There's that lift in the background with a little bit of a slower section in the front, but you can see even though it's slowed down, their motions are very controlled. So everything is still done with strength through their arms and with purpose. these sections always look really cool when you can see them right from the front like we just did on the camera, where the athletes kind of make that one line and you're just seeing a bunch of arms essentially. And they transition nicely into this formation, which is making good shapes is all what it's about with POM, and they're doing a good job of that. Showing off a full team rush in there. Making, spelling a word with the palms there. Very sassy performance from these girls. A solid routine from the Bethlehem senior palm squad, I believe.
That is absolutely correct. First of 5 senior palm teams we will see tonight.
That's interesting. There's been kind of a transition. Before we would have mostly cheerleading teams and a few palm teams, and now it's kind of, we've moved forward where there's all these palm teams and not as much cheer. And that's interesting. The ebbs and flows. Ebbs and flows. It just comes with who's coaching, who's willing to coach, and where the graduates are going.
Oh, another look at the Bethlehem senior team, coached by Sherilyn Fabian.
Showing off that lift in the back. Very controlled.
Your seats this evening and dazzle you with the biggest performance of the year. Sit back and try not to get burnt.
Still to come on the senior palm level, we'll have Walter Murray, Centennial, Bedford Road, and Tommy Douglas. Right now, we've got another demo team coming your way. It'll be the PFC Minis.
So this is another, I believe, pre-competitive team. This group might actually compete a little bit more, but once again, if you're looking to get involved with Prairie Fire, we run teams that have constant intake that are once a week throughout the season. Now, kind of at the end of the season, we're looking into our spring training. So those are learn to cheer classes, tumbling classes, as well as if you already have some experience with the sport, we do have stunting and higher level tumbling classes as well. And you can find more information on that at prairiefirecheerleading.ca, or feel free to shoot an email to info@prairiefirecheerleading.ca.
Once again, we see those coaches out there helping out with those more advanced moves.
Yep, it's good. Safety is our #1 priority, so we're making sure that we don't have anyone hitting the ground here. And these athletes are actually used to competing and training on what's called a sprung floor. So the mat underneath them will have springboards, and it gives them, it's primarily safety, but it does give you a little bit more jump, a little bit more power when you're tumbling, and it's a lot less stress on their wrists and ankles when they're doing these tumbling skills. So this is a little bit of a change for them, but nothing that they can't handle, as we're seeing. Here they're in a stunt sequence. And I guess even outside of, so Prairie Fire typically deals with athletes aged 5 to 18, but if you're in the university, if you're university age going to school next year, that sort of thing, the University of Saskatchewan cheerleading team is actually hosting tryouts on April 23rd at 1:30 p.m. at the Prairie Fire cheerleading gym. If you're looking for more information, you can search on Facebook U of S cheerleading tryouts, and the event page should come up, and that'll have all the contact deals of everyone you need to see. So there's lots of room to get involved outside of school in the cheerleading world, whether you're 5 years old or 25.
Yeah, that's great to hear. No reason the cheerleading has to stop once you're done high school. As you well know, an outstanding program there at the University of Saskatchewan.
And this past year, it was coached by Drea McDonald and Shanda Leftley, and they did a phenomenal job with the team. They compete at the Canadian Cheerleading University Nationals out in Toronto, as well as they did a competition in Denver, so lots of opportunity to travel there. And it's great. We have a few gymnasts, a few POM athletes as well, so if you want to be involved with the sport, can't find quite the way to do it in university, the U of S cheer team might be for you.
That's great. Getting ready now for our next senior POM team. It'll be the neighbors just across the way on the other side of the Shaw Center from Tommy Douglas. Tommy Douglas' senior POM team has been working hard this season and have achieved great things. Despite multiple choreography tweaks, these girls have pushed through and pulled together a routine to be proud of. They are very proud of the work they've done this season, and with this, they would like to welcome you to the tea party.
I guess we'll be seeing a tea party theme here. Often these palm routines will follow some sort of theme.
Sure.
And there you go with the high energy walk on there. You can see once again, everything is choreographed from the second they got on until the second they're off the mat.
By Clarissa Koschuk.
Very sharp. You can see they're moving as a cohesive group, showing off some of that flexibility. It's nice to see a contrast with the athletes. When you have everyone on the ground and one person standing up, it really pulls the viewer in. Good performance from these athletes.
So will a team typically, like a senior level palm team, will they typically have one main routine that they will do throughout the year, or do they have multiple ones throughout a year?
They will have one main routine throughout the year. So they'll, at the beginning of the year, they'll pick their theme, pick their music that they like, that sort of thing. Then they'll work to they'll do some building skills kind of in those primary weeks to make sure everyone's up to speed, and then it pretty well goes right into choreography, which is exciting because these athletes, they start in Saskatoon at least. We start November 1st is when you're allowed to do your tryouts, and they have to be ready for Brit, which is only 2 months after that. So yeah, it's a big push. They only have time to put together one routine, and you will see like they often will have music tweaks and maybe add in sections or change sections, but for the most part it keeps a similar structure throughout the season. And here we have their hip hop section of the routine. Fast pace and high energy. Showing off some switch splits in the front. It's nice to see. It gives the eye a lot to look at when you have athletes moving fast, doing their turns or their stunts, and then some other stuff in the background that's a little bit slower pace, but you can still see all the control and the motions, just like in that lift we saw there. Good level change there. Getting a good reaction from the crowd out of this palm team too. I guess we are right next door to Tommy Douglas, so it's good to see that turnout. Solid routine from the Tommy Douglas senior palm squad. That I believe is the second senior palm we've seen today so far.
You are correct. We've seen Bethlehem and Tommy Douglas. Still to come Bedford Road, Centennial, and Walter Murray.
We have 5 teams total. So we have 5 teams in the senior division and I believe 4 in the junior.
I believe that
on
is
top
correct.
of all of our demo teams and cheerleading, which is really good to see that the sport is still alive and well in Saskatoon.
Yeah, great variety tonight. Nice to get a little bit of everything. Obviously, a lot of the folks in the stands are here to likely cheer on their own kids, but good to get that variety and see what else is out there.
Definitely.
So that was Tommy Douglas senior palm team. We're going to be getting a look momentarily at the Marion Graham cheerleading team, the second of 2 cheerleading teams coming our way tonight, as we take another look at Tommy Douglas. And as you said, it looked like a very solid routine.
And now we have our second and final senior cheerleading team performing tonight, so in the high school division at least. I think we have a few more demo squads as well, so not the end of cheer, but this is the last team that is competing in the cheerleading division tonight.
Marion Graham team.
And Marion Graham has always had a strong cheerleading program. I remember they were some of our strongest competition when
they competed at the Warman Cheer Classic.
A little bit of a tumble going out onto the mat.
On day 1 and placed second in their
now, will the judges judge them on that? Because it wasn't really part of the routine, but there was a little stumble as they made their way out.
Part of the routine. I know at certain competitions, as soon as you perform your first skill, that's when they'll start running your timer. So, for example, if we saw a cartwheel coming on the mat or that sort of thing, the judges, if they're feeling it, they might have started their music there and they will get a time count violation, but I don't think we'll have that here at this high school level. And so we can see some strong tumbling. right off the bat here with some good stunts.
Marion Graham is coached and choreographed by Michelle Greer. They competed at the Warman Cheer Classic this season. They hit 0 on day 1 and placed second in their division. This team has been the city champions 2 years in a row. Hope to hold on to that title for another year.
Yeah, like I was saying before, a very strong program at Marion Graham. And here we can see they're prepping into those half-up straight-to extensions, once again hitting the highest level of difficulty they can in that level 2 division. Also a few Prairie Fire athletes on this team as well that I can recognize, so it's always good to see. Some good tumbling right off the front there. They're right now in their tumbling section, so you'll see the athletes who aren't doing as much of the tumbling will be doing motions or stunts in the back while they're showcasing some of the at-level skills. So those would be the back handsprings, the front handsprings, some connected tumbling as well. And this is now their jump sessions. Great jumps from the whole team, showing off that co-ed aspect of their team, which is good to see. So now, once again, this is their toss section. A little bit of a timing issue, but they picked it up for the next stunt, so they cleaned it up as best as they could. So one thing you'll notice with cheerleading is they do have, moving into a pyramid section here, sorry, but they have both standing and running tumbling requirements. So standing tumbling, you're starting from a standing position and you can only do so many skills. And those running aspects, they get the run to the start so they can kind of add a little bit more difficulty to their tumbling passes. And building nicely into that pyramid, showing off some structures. The half twisting transition. And very strong pushing that up to that liberty position that I talked about before, which is what they can do in level 2 as a pyramid, and finally moving into their dance section to finish off the routine here.
So it will be either Marion Graham or Aiden Bowman taking home the trophy. City Championship level 2 teams. Obviously Marion Graham's team a little bit smaller than the Aiden Bowman team.
And sometimes it's important that the judges don't kind of have a bias towards that, because it is often easier to say, oh wow, there's so much going on, kind of, I don't know what to watch, I'll just give them early scores because it looks great, when just having that reduced amount of athletes doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing lower level skills or that they're hitting their skills less sharp. And then as well, when you have more athletes, it's harder to get all those athletes working together as a cohesive unit. So it is kind of impressive to see the larger team kind of sticking one thing at the same time as a group. Here we can see a replay of that toss section. Great height on the tosses.
Hoopla is in the Queen City,
one of their pyramids.
March 23rd to the 25th.
It's funny, that one that we just saw there where they all had their leg up and they were connected together is actually called a paper dolls pyramid. So when you cut out paper dolls like a little craft, that's kind of what they're trying to look like.
Well, seemed like a pretty solid routine for Marion Graham.
Next up is Bedford Road Senior Palm.
And now, the great Bedford Road Senior Palm team, of course, a historically strong team.
They have held the city championship title for 4 years and are looking to bring it back again this year. For the Bedford Road Senior Palm team, our troops have had a great season thus far with wins at Britt, Warman, Regina, and last weekend in Edmonton. So a very strong season. The team has won the city title for 4 years, like I said, and is choreographed by Miss Carolyn Parr-Hillstead with assistance from alumni Gabrielle and Lila. The team wishes all the other teams a great run tonight and hope that you enjoy their Support the Troops patriotic routine.
Gabrielle and Lila. The team wishes all other teams a great run tonight and hope you all enjoy their Support the Troops.
Definitely a crowd favorite here.
Give it up for
you can see the
Road
signs are coming out. I
know every year
myself think with how loud this crowd is in here.
I was going to say, every year at the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament, you know, you always expect this team, they get a ton of noise, a ton of support from the home crowd, but obviously they travel pretty well too. A lot of support from the stands.
Oh yeah. We can see very sharp here. And very clean in their formation changes as well. Lots going on, lots to look at, showing off that flexibility right off the bat there. Very fast-paced routine. Bedford Road Palm is renowned for kind of the speed of their routines. You'll see with this ripple here, they're moving fast. And I've spotted Prairie Fire athletes once again. So lots of music changes, lots of formation changes, lots going on with this routine. It's great to see. And the athletes are really having fun with it as well. There we saw a palm toss and now some of this partner work in a ripple, which is exciting. Great performance from these athletes. The crowd is loving it. Doing a good job to use levels to really showcase the height of those Russians. That was the jump that they just did there. And a very sharp and fast-paced pitbull section, as Bedford Palm will usually include something from pitbull every year.
Remember Carolyn Parr-Hillstad walking by saying, we put some pitbull in. That was a late addition.
Yep, that's the way we do it at Bedford Road. Very sharp, and you can see even when they're circling their arms in a fluid motion, they're all at the same spot at the same time, which is very hard to execute as a group. Finishing up with a Canadian flag, it looks like.
Absolutely, great performance by the Bedford Road Senior Palm team. They've come away with wins at Britt, in Warman, in Regina, last weekend in Edmonton. Will they claim the biggest prize of all, the city championship in Saskatoon? Well, we'll find out.
Strong routine from the Bedford Road Collegiate Senior Palm squad.
Next up, we have the Bethlehem Superstars.
Another look
Palm
at them
team.
here.
The team is comprised of 14 students in the functionally integrated program at Bethlehem.
We're going to see the
Team has had its time in the
Superstars
spotlight
team
this
here
year as a
from
result of
Bethlehem
last year's great
Collegiate.
performance.
This is always a lot of fun. We
With the help of some of the
saw them
senior
at
Palm
Britt this
members,
year as
the
well,
group
and
competed in Warman,
just
Regina,
do a great
Saskatoon,
job.
It was
and
really
will be at the
exciting to
provincials
see a
in
standing
Weyburn this
ovation at
year.
the end of their performance
Yeah.
at
The
Britt.
team would like to thank everyone that supported them financially with the costs involved in traveling and competition fees. Without their financial help, competing would not be possible. Their team this year is dedicated to making dreams
Another very
come true.
strong performance
Without limitations,
from
and a little
Bedford
help from our
Road. What
friends,
else is new?
we can do
And
anything.
you can see just the
Coached by
palms being on
Cheryl
either side with the same
Fabian, Lily
colors.
Fabian,
The motions
and
are
Lindsay
sharp.
Moore.
It's
Give
truly
it up
everything
for
is
your
planned and
Bethlehem
choreographed to
Superstars
the
Palm
pair
team.
with that routine, and it's really great to see. And now we have the Bethlehem Superstars. Always a crowd favorite.
Yeah. Probably especially fun for them to be here at their home school. I imagine spend a lot of time in this room.
Oh yeah.
A lot of parents in the stands.
Yeah, the whole crowd is clapping along in here.
Yeah.
It's buzzing in the gym right now.
Big smiles.
Nice upbeat routine here. You can see the athletes are all having a lot of fun. The crowd is
Yeah.
loving the music choices as well.
Tons of coaches looking on, helping out.
Yep.
Little palm toss there.
Showing some flexibility off at the side as well. they're going with the theme of dreams really do come true, and you see that the song is playing, they're out here performing. It's great to see.
Absolutely. Great performance by the Bethlehem Superstars. Great reaction from the crowd here at Bethlehem High School.
Getting a standing ovation here from the crowd, and the applause just keeps on going.
Absolutely fantastic. Look at that.
Yep.
Well, congratulations to Bethlehem Superstars.
Thank you, Bethlehem Superstars.
Great performance, great reaction from the crowd.
Yep.
So much fun.
SSSAD would like to thank.
So we're going to be looking at another senior pom team coming up next. It'll be the Centennial senior pom team.
TCU Financial Group.
So we saw this team
Services,
at Britt with a
Saskatoon
powerful
Co-op
performance,
Gas
and they've
Bars,
continued to improve their routine since
trademark
then.
designs,
Highlights include
Ignite
traveling to that
conditioning,
Victoria
and
cheer
soccer
competition in
locker.
Edmonton,
Pizza
as
Hut,
well as performing in
Hike Family
school
Subways.
events. The team has many senior
Thank
students
you
who will be
to Shaw
graduating this year.
TV for
This
broadcasting
routine is
this event.
choreographed by Miss Duong,
Follow us on
Mr.
Twitter
Howlett, and Miss Binner.
at
And Mr. Howlett was actually one of Bedford Road's
and on
old
the
coaches, so it's great to see, even though he's moved schools, he's still staying involved with the program, and he's a very good coach, so
If you didn't
it's
get
nice
a
that
program,
that's still,
you can find a
that
program
he's still kicking
on
around.
the SSSAD
Yeah,
website
absolutely.
under programs.
See a
just
little bit
see-
of mat maintenance happening here.
Oh, make sure that all the tape is good. We don't want any athletes falling between the cracks of a mat there and tweaking something that they shouldn't have.
Absolutely. Just a little bit of a pause here before we will see that Centennial senior pom team. Seen Tommy Douglas and Bethlehem so far, as well as that last performance by Bedford Road. Any early favorites among the ones you've seen so far, Alexander?
I definitely have a bias, as I graduated from Bedford Road, but they always come out with a strong routine.
Yeah, they do.
Next up,
They
we
get
have
the crowd
Centennial
going. They
Senior
make
Pom.
full use of the score sheets, and everything is thought of to a T with those routines. So personally, Bedford Road has always been my favorite, and it's great to see. But with all the other teams
Chargers
too, like
have had a
Centennial
great
team
season so
and
far.
Bethlehem, like
The team started
it's
with a
not like there's a
powerful
big
performance
range
at
of
Brick,
performance. Like they're
and
all
have continued
competing
to
at that
improve
high
their
level, and
routines
it's
since then.
good that there's good
Highlights of the
competition
season
here. It's not
include
just one
traveling
team
to the
kind of
Victoria
dominating
cheer
everything.
competition in
Right.
Edmonton,
Keeps it
performing in
competitive
school
with the
events.
athletes.
The team has many
Up
senior
next, we
students
will
who
see
will
what
be
the
graduating this
Centennial
year.
senior pom team
Their
will
team
bring
is
to the
choreographed
floor.
by Ms. Duong, Mr. Howlett, and Ms. Beener.
Some
The team is looking forward
asymmetrical
to their
makeup
performance
going on,
tonight,
which is kind of
and
cool.
competing at
Yeah.
provincials this weekend. Give it up for
Wonder if
senior
that'll tie into
pom,
their theme
Centennial.
at all with this routine. And Centennial has always had a very strong pom program, so I'm excited to see what they show us.
Cool formation off the start.
Yep. Very sharp in those head knocks. And you can see lots of control in their movements. Showing off really good technique in their skills there with both the turns and the jumps. Centennial has been known as kind of one of the more technical schools when it comes to their routines, and it really shows here.
Sure.
So we have 3 side aerials coming up the front there. Very fast-paced routine. Lots of formation changes, level changes, good transitions. They're definitely meeting all those elements of the score sheet and doing it very well. some team technical skills there. It's great to see how together they are. That's something new, holding the palm with their feet. We don't typically see that. Usually they're in their hands, so it's great to see that creativity. And a very high palm toss in the back. Very solid turn section from this team. Keeping the pace up with high energy music. Great flexibility on the jumps here. And we can just see seamless transitions in their performance. A little bit of a palm drop there, but once again, just a small palm drop like that can be detrimental to this routine, but with such a high-paced routine and a lot going on, it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top. Very strong routine from the Centennial senior palm squad here. And you can see they're choreographed right to the end as well, even with that walk-off.
Good job, Centennial.
Yeah, very impressive performance, I would say.
Kept the energy up, they were sharp throughout. And right there with that first formation, lots of creative ideas being shown in this routine as well.
Next up, we have the
Another
Prairie
demo
Fire
squad
youth
coming
team,
our
the
way.
Rockets.
Another group you might be somewhat familiar with, Alexander,
Yep.
the youth team from Prairie Fire.
Youth
Prairie
Rockets.
Fire
I've
Rockets.
also
are
coached these
youth
girls a
prep
few
team
times. They're a lot of fun. They all
made
just
up
love
of sassy
cheerleading. They want to be there.
9, 10, 11-year-olds.
Aged 9 to 11, and they just have a lot of fun
safe
with their
travels and
routines.
amazing performance to all of the teams heading to Weyburn for provincials.
And once again, this
coming
is one of
weekend.
those pre-competitive
Hold
prep
on to
level
your
teams
seats
that
as
does
the
have
Rockets
constant
take
intake
flight.
throughout the season. So while the
Give it
season
up
is
for the
pretty much
Prairie Fire
finished
Rockets.
here, if that's something you're looking to do for next year, maybe a less competitive team just to get yourself introduced to the sport, this is something you could look into, as well as our spring training classes, which we have more information about online at prairiefirecheerleading.ca. And if you have any questions, feel free to email Megan at info@prairiefirecheerleading.ca. They had a little bit of an issue with their music starting, but it didn't phase the athletes. They're still going into it. So some of these stunts are just single base, which is really good to see. Maxing out that difficulty as a cheerleading routine.
You mentioned the music issue off the start. Obviously, that's something that could phase a team conceivably. If all of a sudden you're expecting one song and the wrong one comes out, you gotta just kind of soldier on through those things, right?
Yeah, cheerleading mixes are about as wild as the sport itself. Music changes every so many 8 counts, and there's a lot going on with the sound effects in the background. You hear all those dings and the booms, and it works really well for the athletes because then they can kind of choreograph their stunts to the routine, and it gives them something to kind of benchmark. Because I know sometimes it's frustrating to just be yelling counts your whole routine because you don't have the music yet. So definitely helps the athletes. It helps make the stunts look more sharp when they hit on time with the music. And I know that this stunt sequence is a little bit new for these girls, so they've been working hard to perfect that. And I believe this team actually does compete in provincials as well. So there's a little bit of that competition element from this team as well, even though they are a prep level team. So once again, if you're looking to get involved with Prairie Fire Cheerleading, prairiefirecheerleading.ca or email info@prairiefirecheerleading.ca. We have learn to cheer classes, beginner tumbling classes, as well as stunt and tumbling classes for more experienced or advanced cheerleaders. If you are in that university age or going into university even as a gymnast or a POM athlete, the U of S cheerleading tryouts are taking place April 23rd at 1:30 p.m. at the Prairie Fire Cheerleading Gym. I had a phenomenal experience with this team. If it wasn't for my knee injury, I'd still be with them right now. And there's some great programs here in Saskatoon for cheerleading if you're looking to get involved outside of that
Competitors who are missing
school
an
range.
inhaler, please come
Absolutely,
to the
something to
announcement desk
consider.
here if you're missing an inhaler. I have it here for you.
Coming up next, another senior pom team. This one from my old school, Walter Murray.
We have
the
the Murray
Marauders.
Senior Pom.
Walter Murray's pom squad has worked hard this year to bring you a powerful and unique insane asylum routine. Your team has 20 rostered athletes ranging from grade 9 to 12, and over half of them will be graduating this year. They've enjoyed performing at Brit, Mitt, and Warman Cheer Classic this year, improving with each performance. I want to thank the crowd for cheering them on. Coached by Mandy Bast, Lindsay Gunderson, and choreographed by Brett Stadnick.
And Warman Cheer Classic.
Excited to see them as a
improving with each performance.
Senior pom team. This is our fourth pom team of the night, or the fifth now?
This would be our fifth pom team of the night.
Making our way through the program.
Fifth and final one is the Walter Murray Collegiate.
With an insane asylum theme.
Yeah.
Looks like.
They also have the pom component at the Murray Invitational Tournament. The Mitt. Certainly, I have some great memories of that. That's where I made my announcing debut. Was at the Mitt Murray Invitational Tournament. So
and you were hooked.
I was hooked. That's where it all began.
It's a lot of fun being up here, so I can definitely understand that. Starting with kind of a slower section of the routine, which is a bit of a contrast from these pom squads, but now I think it's going to be speeding up. Yep. Up to pace with the other routines. They're sharp in their motions, good transitions.
Kind of a cool use of the one guy on the team. They've obviously got him as sort of the doctor character, and the rest of the performers are the patients.
Yeah, making use of, like, while we do want, making use of the different athletes, different shapes that they can make with their bodies. And showing off that flexibility there. Very high energy performance from this team. Nice ripple effect there in their choreography. So it's quite often that these pom teams will try to maximize their score sheets by having two different groups of athletes doing things at once, and it all builds on that contrast and visual effect. So you see they're all doing different things, then they'll come together all of a sudden. It really gives you a lot to look at. So we can see they're including a ripple effect and changing levels as well. These are all things that need to be hit on the score sheet. Solid performance from the Walter Murray Senior Pom squad here.
Thank you, Walter Murray.
And that was our final Senior Pom squad competing tonight. So now there'll be a few more demo teams. The judges will have opportunity to tally their scores, make any final adjustments that they need to, and get those score sheets into the head judge so they can pass it on to the announcer. And we get to find out who our winners are this year's City and Pom Cheerleading Championships at Bethlehem Collegiate here tonight.
Hoopla.
One more junior pom team also to perform tonight. Bethlehem School performing on their home gym. They'll be coming up in just a few minutes. First, it's going to be the Retro Red team, which is the graduates from Bedford Road Collegiate. Certainly, we've talked about it a lot, the strength of the program there, and of course, also some longevity there, as these athletes just want to keep on going, and obviously they love dancing together, and great to see them keep on going. I know we were chatting briefly with Carolyn Parhillstad before the competition got going, and she Mentioned this is a team
Give it
that's
up
had
for
some significant injury issues.
Yeah, it seemed like there were a lot more athletes in the hospital for not just because of the sport, like it was kind of things happening outside of cheer than that are on the mat. So it'll be interesting to see how they make do with those kind of disadvantages, because we might notice some issues with the formations. But I think this team is always such, they're high energy performers. They're the ones who kind of really had passion for the sport. A lot of them have dance experience as well previously. So they're definitely going to own the mat regardless of who's on the floor. And it's great to be, because they also act as a bit of an inspiration for the younger athletes, because these grade 9, grade 10 students, even up to the grade 12, they'll see this as, we can keep going with the sport. This is what you can this is the best you can do. They're very well-trained athletes, so it's great to see that level of intensity from their performance.
A ton of experience for sure.
Yeah, wooed from the crowd to come out, and here they come.
All right, here we go. So Retro Red, give it up.
Oh, here they are.
Couple of stragglers.
Yep.
Now everyone's with them.
Making their way.
Getting the music going. Now we got it.
Yep. Starting off strong with some Beyonce here. So you can see great performance from them, very sharp in their motions. They're very well trained. All they need to do is learn the choreography, and they're pretty well set to perform it. And they must have done a lot of last-minute formation switches, because it doesn't really look like there's anything missing from this routine in terms of athlete placement. And this team actually still does compete. They went to Edmonton in the past few weeks here, and I think they did well at that competition. I'm not sure how they place, but there is a market for adult pom in kind of the bigger cities, bigger centers, where they have athletes who still want to stay involved and coaches who are willing to put in the effort. And one nice thing about this team is, because a lot of them are coaches for the junior team and the senior team, that they kind of choreograph this routine together. So it's a really fun environment to be in.
And you know, we talked about the younger athletes, especially, you know, at the Prairie Fire level, elementary school level, what a thrill it is for them to get out here and perform in front of a crowd. With these athletes, they performed in front of a crowd dozens of times throughout their career, but still got to be a lot of fun. Yeah,
they're here more to inspire the younger athletes than this is just another performance for them, really. But no, those younger athletes, it's great for those demo squads who get the opportunity to perform in front of a crowd. The music is often louder than what they're probably used to practicing with. Their coaches may not be able to be as involved with the routine, or if they're super young, we'll see the coaches just, they can stroll onto the mat, which is kind of nice. But no, it's great to get that demo experience at such a young age too, because if they can be comfortable with it now, when they're, like you said earlier, when they're moving up into those senior levels, they'll be the ones who are doing really well and kind of exceeding in the sport, starting at this young of an age.
Great job by an undermanned Retro Red team. Thank you very much, ladies. Fantastic performance. Keeping that tradition of excellence from Bedford Road Collegiate going. Let's get another look at their performance.
2016, 2017.
You can see very strong off the start.
They are budget car and truck rental. TCU Financial Group.
Couple more demo teams to go tonight. Up next, we're going to get a team from Warman. You know, something we talked about a lot during the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament cheerleading competition. So just how strong cheerleading is out there in Warman.
Yeah, Warman, they have a very strong program up there. They are now training out of the Legend Center, so that's exciting that they've had that expansion to their gym and their program. And right now, the Warman cheerleading competition, which they put on, is the largest in Saskatchewan. I believe they had over 2,000 athletes this year, so lots going on. That's a 3-day competition now, and Leslie's doing a phenomenal job out there. It's really great that we can be competitive with each other and that we push each other as clubs to really improve, but also Warman is one of those teams. We'll see them when we compete at nationals. We'll see them when we're in Edmonton, and we'll truly come together and say, hey, we're from Saskatchewan, like we're in this together, right?
How's everyone liking the dancing tonight?
And that's really nice that we have that relationship with them, because as competitive as we are, we are friends at the end of the day, and it all just contributes to that cheerleading community.
It is an interesting sort of dichotomy, that competitiveness, but also a real supportive atmosphere.
Yes. And kind of one way you can look at it is it's a lot better to win when you beat the team that did their best. Because if they just have the falls or the deductions or that sort of thing, and you kind of win by default and your team might not have been as sharp otherwise, it's not as good as a win. So that's why we want to keep each other competitive, keep each other on our toes, and it's definitely a friendly competition.
Placing top 10 in their division.
So Warman getting ready to head out to the floor right away. We'll also have a demo coming up in a few minutes from the Tommy Douglas dance class. That will actually wrap up our competition.
So this is their Peridot team, and this is their elite stream coming out of the gym. So we're going to be seeing very high-level stunts. I believe they're level 4.2 it's called. So their stunting is level 4. Their tumbling will be level 2, which is some of the stuff that we've already seen today. It's a very high-energy routine. I've seen this routine competed a few times now, and it'll definitely have the crowd wooing because they're doing some pretty cool stuff here. You'll see, it gives you a kind of glimpse of what the higher level cheerleading is like in Saskatchewan. And this team competes both nationally and internationally.
Toss there at the back.
Yep. Very sharp, very clean. There's a lot going on. Moving to their first stunt sequence here. So that's an inverted switch up. Switching from low to high here. You can see that they can be up in that liberty position, it's called, that extended one leg position, without having a brace in a pyramid. Twisting up with 1.5 ups. Lots going on with this routine. Very impressive hit from the first stunt sequence of the routine, showing off that team tumbling into their jump section now. Showing off, so that was their basket toss section that we've seen before, and as you can see, they're doing a full twist and a kick in their basket toss, so it just shows kind of the degree of difficulty goes up as you go up in your levels. And as you can see with the kind of more high-level all-star cheerleading, it's those formations and level changes are more choreographed. They're more apparent. There's a lot more. It's a lot more of a calculated routine, kind of like those palm squats. So it's great to see kind of mixed elements from both sides. And they're putting out a really clean routine for us. A little bit of a mix-up in that pyramid, but they're quick to get it back up.
And this is a demo event once again, but if this were being scored, we saw, as you said, just a little bit of a slip up there.
Yes.
The quicker you can recover, does that impact how many points you might lose from the judges?
It can. Like if you miss a skill, your team will kind of lose in terms of execution. Not everyone will have executed the skill, and your ratio of how many stunts you had up in the air might not be as high because you're missing a skill. So if you can get back into the mix and finish up your stunt sequence, you have a much better chance of keeping that difficulty score, keeping that execution score up. The only time that they'll actually, with those little baubles we saw there in that pyramid, those would just kind of go towards their execution score. It's when an athlete actually touches the ground or falls out of a stunt or falls out of their tumbling is when they'll start to lose serious points on the score sheet. So here we're seeing very clean tumbling from the women cheerleading Peridot. And they also usually compete on a sprung floor, so
a little bit different here.
Yep.
Pizza Hut.
And they're showing off those switch-ups right to that extended lib position, Liberty, sorry.
For broadcasting this event.
1.5 ups. Very strong in their stunts. You can tell that this at this point is just muscle memory for these girls.
And on the
a lot of experience out there on the floor.
Website. If you did not receive a program for this event this evening, they can be found on the SSSAD
Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. We saw a lot of demonstrations from Warman teams being in competition.
Saw more of their younger teams at Warman or at Brit, so it's nice to kind of see that contrast to show like what you can be doing at the higher level of cheerleading. Because oftentimes, like if you're a gymnast looking to get involved in the sport and you already have those higher level tumbling skills and experience with body control, this is something that you could be looking into joining if you're looking to get into cheerleading as well.
So coming up next, waiting for the Bethlehem Junior Pom team, an inclusive Pom team with 18 members, comprised of 14 very dedicated and energetic grade 9 students and 4 strong grade 10 students, coached by Cheryl Lenz-Fabian and Nevada Braun and Katie Forsyth. They placed first in the Regina Icebreaker and second at the Warman Cheer Tournament. Getting towards the end of the competition, feel the anticipation maybe building a little bit.
A little bit.
Judges tabulating their results over here to our left.
Putting everything together, and then the faster those judges can get their scores together, you can see they can start having fun with the competition, watch the routines with less of a critical eye, and no, you can definitely feel it. I'm anticipating the results myself. I'm interested to see if Bedford Road can maintain their 4-year win streaks in both the junior and the senior divisions, seeing who will come out victorious in the senior cheerleading, as we would always be. Back when Bedford Road did have a cheerleading team in the high school division, Aiden Bowman and Marion Graham were 2 of the most competitive teams in the city, so it's great to see that they're still going at it. Because I think in my last year of cheer, both those teams did better than us at the city championships. So very strong programs there.
Judges making their way out. Having a bit of a meeting there.
I think so. They might be putting together their final scores. Maybe just taking a snack break and looking important.
How do we get in on that? That sounds good. I could go for some snacks.
Yeah.
421.
Saw a concession out at the back, but
East in Saskatoon.
didn't get a chance to sneak in there before the program started.
On Facebook at the U of S cheerleading tryouts.
So still waiting for a couple more teams to perform tonight. Mentioned the Bethlehem Junior Pom team up next. After that will be the Tommy Douglas dance class.
Follow us on Twitter at SSSAD.
Next door at Tommy Douglas Collegiate.
1-2.
It's nice that they'll, at these competitions, when they need more of that buffer time, they can call in these dance programs that the schools all have, where it's a little bit more relaxed. It's in a classroom setting. Learning is definitely the priority when it comes to those classes, but they still do come out with really good routines. I was part of the Dance 2030 classes when I was at Bedford Road, and we would have, by the end of the year, 6 or 7 routines. They were all long enough to be an actual dance routine, and I had a lot of fun with those classes, so it's great to see that they can come out and perform at this large-scale event as well.
Inclusive Pom team with 18 members.
So now we do have the Bethlehem Junior Pom team making their way out onto the floor.
And 4 strong grade 10
Their
leaders.
home floor, in fact.
The team is coached by Cheryl Lenz-Fabian, Nevada Braun, and Katie Forsyth.
It looks like they're going with
first
farm theme, I want to say.
And second at the
Western feel to
that,
it for
that
sure.
would be what it is,
Please give it up for Bethlehem Junior Pom. Sorry, just wait.
Oh, now we got to get the judges back in place.
And now they have to stand there and wait. And wait. And wait. Here we go.
Now we've got them all back.
All right.
Snacks are done.
Yep.
All right,
back
here we
to
go.
the office.
Stars.
We're seeing a strong involvement from the co-ed side of things with this routine. Very strong technically as a dancer. And we're seeing lots of good use of ripples with this routine as well. All of the junior teams have consistently been meeting a lot of the requirements on the score sheets, and it's good to see that they could just be as competitive as some of the senior teams. I remember back when the junior teams didn't actually compete, they would sometimes look at their scores compared to the senior teams, and they would see, oh, we actually could have a chance in some situations at some competitions. So very strong program here at Tommy Douglas. Yep, there's that Western side of things. Western sounds a lot better than farm, I think. I don't know what I was thinking when I was saying that.
I don't think anyone in Saskatchewan, though, could be insulted by having something referred to as a farm theme.
Yeah, definitely in Saskatchewan still. showing off a bit of a ripple in their routine. There's those straight line formations that I really like to see.
Yeah, they look great.
Always a favorite. Showing off a palm toss there as well. Meeting all those elements of the score sheet with different levels now. Very visually appealing routine from the Tommy Douglas Junior Palm Squad. The last Junior Palm Squad to be competing here tonight.
Great job by the Junior Palm Squad from right here, Bethlehem High School in Saskatoon.
Thank you.
Way off.
Thank you, Bethlehem Superstars.
One more demo to go, then time to hand out some hardware.
Yep, exactly. The moment we've all been patiently waiting for tonight and training for a whole season, really.
Yeah, these few minutes leading up to that, I'm guessing a lot of butterflies for the competitors that are sitting alongside the court here.
Lots of butterflies, lots of excitement. It's good. And they're all very close routines, very competitive with each other, so it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top.
Thank you to Shaw TV for broadcasting this event.
Send a big thanks to Brian Thorstad and the whole gang there at SSSAD, the organizing body for high school athletics here in Saskatoon. Have been a big help to us in getting our coverage set up.
Next up, we have the Tommy Douglas
for basketball and cheerleading throughout the last week and a half or so. Ready for the final performance. Tommy Douglas dance class, as he mentioned. Actual class at Tommy Douglas.
Background, culture, age, gender, body type, or sexual orientation. Anyone who has an interest in dance and is committed to their learning is welcome to take part in their dance classes.
Just talking about the inclusivity of these dance classes, and it really is true. They're talking about any body shape, any body type. If you want to dance, you can dance, and these classes really foster that environment. One thing that I really like about the Tommy Douglas dance program is their dance room is almost treated as like a hangout spot at lunchtime and during breaks, and that when there aren't classes going on in there, like students, well, I'm not sure if they're necessarily eating lunch in there, but there's music going, people are dancing, people are freestyling. It's a really fun environment, and it's something that you don't see at every school for sure.
That's awesome.
You can definitely see this is a very big group of athletes, so yeah, really showing that it is an inclusive program. Nice, fun, and light routine to end off the night. And this looks to be kind of hip-hop style. So this is similar to what we saw at the beginning with the Bedford Road hip-hop team, those kind of styles, the fun music. And it looks like they're all having fun with this performance.
Absolutely.
Showing off those technical skills, even though we are just in an educational environment, they're still kind of, they could have that little bit of competition if they wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. That was a lot of fun. Big
Yeah.
thanks to Tommy
Thank you,
Douglas
TD dance class.
and their
Good
dance
job.
class. So that is it for the cheer and the palm and the dancing here
All right,
from Bethlehem
now what we're gonna do
Collegiate.
is we're gonna roll up the
One
mats, so if
more
we can get
element to
some
go, though,
volunteers
and of
to help
course
us with
that
that'd be
is the
great.
handing out of the
And then after
hardware.
that, we'll move on
Final
to the
scores
awards.
being tabulated. We're going to take a break. You are watching the 2017 Cheer and Dance City Championships from Bethlehem High School on Shaw TV.
Okay, first we're going to start with the exceptional learner dance. So, the people who won that is the Bethlehem Superstars. Congratulations to their coaches, Miss Fabian, and Miss Moore. All right, so junior dance. So the Saskatoon High School Junior Dance silver medalists are, drum roll please. Centennial Palm Squad. We will now present the silver medalists to Centennial. Congratulations to Coach Miss Duong, Mr. Howlett, and Miss Boehner and the Centennial team for a very successful season. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016-2017 Saskatoon High School Junior Dance Champions are, drum roll please, Bedford Road. We will now present the gold medals to Bedford Road. Congratulations to the coach, Miss Pear and Michaela Liedall. Your 2016-2017 city champions. Now we're going to go on to cheer. So, the Saskatoon High School cheerleading silver medalists are, drum roll please, Marion Graham. We will now present the silver medal to Marion Graham. Congrats to Coach Michelle Greer and the Marion Graham team for a very successful season. We will now present the gold medals to, drum roll, Aiden Bowman. Congratulations to their coach and the team, the 2016-2017 city champions. The championship trophy for the 2016-2017 Cheers City Champions will be presented by their principal, Paul Humbert. Would the team captains please come forward to accept the city championship trophy and their medals. Okay, now we're going into the senior dance section here. So the Saskatoon High School senior dance silver medalists are, drum roll, Tommy Douglas. We will now present the silver medalists to Tommy Douglas. Congratulations to their coaches and the Tommy Douglas team for a very successful season this year. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2016-2017 Saskatoon High School Senior Dance Champions are, drum roll please, Bedford Road! We'll now present the gold medals to Bedford Road. Congratulations to their coaches and the Bedford Road team on their 2016-2017 City Championship. The championship trophy for the 2016-2017 Senior Dance City Champions will be presented by Brian Thorstad and Dave Knight. Would the team captains please come forward to accept the City Championship trophy. When Bedford Road is receiving their medals, I would like to say thanks to the Bethlehem community and the school for putting on this wonderful event. Paul Jansen will be presenting the trophy from Bedford.
So congratulations to all of the winners tonight. On the pom side of things, no shock. A clean sweep for Bedford Road Collegiate in both junior and senior pom. And in cheerleading, it's the Aiden Bowman Bears winning the championship. Congratulations to everyone who took part tonight. Absolutely outstanding competition. And thanks so much for tuning in and watching our coverage here on Shaw TV. It's been an absolute privilege to bring you the coverage tonight from Bethlehem High School. On behalf of Alexander Schubert and the whole Shaw TV team, I'm Simon Hyatt. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you for next year's championship.